Skovoroda's construct, and the metamorphosis of Narcissus into the sun is the theme of regeneration. Mystical literature has often approached this theme by focusing on the senses. Consider, for example, these stanzas from the Preparative by Thomas Traherne. My body being dead, my limbs unknown, before I was skilled to prize those living stars my eyes, before my tongue or cheeks were to me shown, before I knew my hands were mine, or that my sinews did my members join, when neither nostril, foot, nor ear as yet was seen or felt or did appear, I was within a house I knew not, newly clothed with skin. Then was my soul my only orb to me, a living, endless eye. Far wider than the sky, whose power, whose act, whose essence was to see, I was in the inward sphere of light, or an interminable orb of sight, an endless and a living day, a vital sun that round about did ray all life and sense, a naked, simple, pure intelligence. Traherne's contemplative poetry suggests that for regeneration to take place, the individual must recover an infant's unitary state of innocence, in which being a sphere of light is coterminous with seeing the vital sun. Because he is pre-verbal and physically unskilled, the infant soul has not been dissipated. Worthy of note in this context is the fact that Skovoroda's preeminent symbol, the sun, is consonant with the tradition of mysticism which Traherne exemplifies. In Stus's poetry, the theme of regeneration begins to manifest itself quite systematically in The Joyful Cemetery, a collection that opens with a word titled At the Autumnal Lake, and he's looking into this water, and includes, as I already indicated earlier, the poem 100 Mirrors, and the third poem in this collection describes the metamorphoses taking place within the body of the mystical speaker. And now you will understand why I cited Traherne. He's very important for my argument. Мені здається, що живу не я, а інший хтось живе за мене в світі, в моїй подобі. Ні очей, ні вух, ні рук, ні рота. Очужілий у своєму тілі, і кавалок болю, і самозамкнений у тьмущій тьмі завис. Ти, народившись, виголів лишень, а не приріс до тіла, не дійшов своєї плоті, тільки перехожий між світів, ворушися на споді чужого існування. 100 ночей попереду і 100 ночей позаду, а між ними лялечка німа, Хрисалис, купа, розпечена аж біла самоболю, як п'ятка пекла, лаконічний крик Всесвіту, маленький шротик сонця. Щужілий і заблуканий у тілі, ти ждеш іще народження для себе, а смерть війшла у тебе вже давно. In the first 3 lines of this poem, the speaker announces the existence of another, having assumed his likeness. In lines 4 to 7, it is difficult to determine whether the speaker is describing the new other or the old self. The situation becomes clearer when in line 8 he switches to a pronoun of address, but the use of the past tense clearly identifies this internal speech as belonging to a masculine self. The present tense reappears in line 11 and is sustained to the end of the poem. The modern technique of internal focalization, notwithstanding, the subject matter of the poem is regeneration. And as we can see, Stus observes the venerable mystical tradition of discussing the senses in such a context. Ni očej, ni vuk, ni ruk, ni rota. The other being born within the body of this mystical speaker like the vital son of Treherne's infant, contains the essence, a small pellet, malenki shrotek, of what he will eventually become, the son, malenki shrotek soncha. But Stus's poem also modernizes mystical convention by making the adult self-observer speak from an alienated perspective, whereas in Treherne's poem it is the as yet unitary, innocent self who talks. The speaker in Stus's poem is a mature individual who suffers through the perennial death and birth of self-realization. His epic struggle, considered the narrative present in lines 11 to 22, is depicted in metamorphic terms. The reference to the burning chrysalis, that small pellet of the sun, intimates the regeneration out of the self experienced by Skovoroda's ardent Narcissus phoenix. It also prefigures the appearance in a time of creativity of direct references to the cosmogonic birth. And the old shrouds have already fallen, уже упали всі старі ослони, which was written in 1972, Stus's mystical speaker, once again turning to the other, declares the onset of joyful bondage, radisni polone, and the coming of life to life of his addressee. And the second part of the poem, besides applying the Skovorodian figure 100 eyes in reference to the earth's flora, the reflection of divine wisdom, the speaker presents the link between death and the resurrection of the true man with a regenerative metaphor. And here he borrows a little bit from Rilke. Шрубовується молоде коріння у камінь надр і п'є живлющий сік. Коли на серці смерть, як воскресіння, то підростає справжній чоловік. І син землі, він вітрові супроти підносить ніби меч, гінке стебло, бо добре знає, що земні оплоти, те все, що з благодаті проросло, ті будяки і квіти, вся стоока земна подоба. And I'll interrupt the quotation here to comment in the following manner. Regenerative metaphors have a long tradition and have been used to explain the birth of the Son of God, that is, the generation of the Logos by the speaker, is a process analogous to the seed issue.